Mr. Patel, thank you very much for joining us. My first question to you is, do you think that Air India is very close to being a sick airline, and is this the lowest point you think in the airline's 60-year history?
Well, I think so, but at the same time, let's also not forget that probably this is the worst time in the global aviation history also. It's never been that all airlines cumulatively across the world are facing problems, huge financial losses even to major carriers like British Airways, many companies merging. We last year saw the KLM and the Air France merger, and many more airlines, even in India. Let's not only isolate Air India and look at it because it's a public carrier, but Jet and Kingfisher and other airlines also are facing huge financial losses. But that does not mean that this is, it may be the lowest point, but it's not the end of the road.
You said just a few days ago that heads will roll, and you said that there would be this major restructuring within 30 days. Who are the heads that are going to roll? Is it just going to be at the director level, or is it going to be the larger staff?
No, I think, you see, initially it is a management issue, and therefore the people who are in executive position, they are the people who will have to really be, not taking the brunt, but I would say there has to be some kind of restructuring within the company. It's been run, well, some people would say well, some would say it's been run very badly, but at the end of the day, it is a top-heavy structure, and there's no denying that fact. And we would like to, run it more like a professional organization. Not to say that all these years it's been run the way it wanted to, but certain like cost control measures, certain like belt tightening, which is required in a competitive environment, I think that is where Air India lost out. And the other part is, I somehow feel that being a public carrier, the accountability quotient was very, very low. And again, going back to pre-95 when it was the lone carrier, whether domestic or international, it had a lot of flexibility. People's complaints could have been addressed, but needn't really worry because nobody was going to go to another airline for traveling. Today it's a competitive environment, and that's what I personally feel that we have to somehow make people more accountable in the system.
So the first heads to roll will, as you're saying, then be the top management?
Well, certainly it has to start from the top, and I mean, I can't expect the lowest employee to go in for a major change. His job is a very limited job and defined, and accountability will have to start from the top.
There is speculation though that the government has already decided to cut the airline staff by half and have them distributed into your other strategic units. Is that correct?
No. Let's be clear about one thing, that being a public carrier, government company, our national carrier, we are not going to make people go home. The other issue is of restructuring. Yes, of course. I mean, as a company, if you have many more people than required, and if they are not being able to be fully utilized, we will have to find ways and means to restructure them within the organization and try to find more avenues of revenue. So that is another issue. But the fact is that as a company, you see, when the merger of Air India and Indian Airlines took place, a lot of people talk many things about it. But I can tell you, there was a great sense of responsibility when the decision was taken. It was broadly structured on the Lufthansa model, where on one side the airline revenues were giving the least profits, but all other business avenues like MROs, engine shops, ground handling, catering, and a lot of other services were giving it and cargo rather, were giving it the maximum revenue. So these were some of the things which needed to be done but have not been implemented in a time-bound fashion.